I'll go over it from the top because it's a bit easier to understand everything. And that way you don't have to go back and rewatch it, and I can just make the video from here. So basically, this is the opener SNO recommends. I had a brief discourse with him on his YouTube video, explaining that his opener is quite poor. He doubled down on it not being poor, and he's saying me it's one rotation difference in timing, one global, like 1 second, whatever. And I'm gonna go over why it clearly isn't, and he's misunderstood my point because this guy hates criticism
Slice and
apparently.
dice into 5-point expose.
This is his opener.
5-point slice and dice.
He's doing a 2-point slice and dice. So he's doing a 2-point slice and dice with double sinister at the start. So he's sinister, sinister, slice. Then he gets to expose. And then he does a rupture. So I think he opens about here. Here we go. So you can just watch it.
In, so this is the mob. So let's say we pull, run in. I do 2-point slice and dice.
Yep.
Into full cooldowns usually.
So he now pops all of his cooldowns, which is consistent to what he does, which is massive DPS loss for himself, because obviously the boss doesn't have expose on.
5-point expose.
And then he applies expose, right? That's the rotation he does, and this rotation I showed earlier, but I'll just show again. It is consistent with what he does in raids, so I'm just using... the reason I'm using High Warlord here is because in Mount Hijal I don't even need to slice and dice, because I can get up on the pre-mobs. But...
that's fine.
So this is like his last raid he streamed. So...
Okay.
And now the boss has exposed up, right? The boss has lost 15% of his HP, and we're like about almost 20 seconds into combat time. Okay? And now, versus the opener you should be doing, which is the opener everyone on the Discord will recommend you. Which is my opener. Right, we get one Sinister, so I even get parried here, and I'm still going to apply it so much faster. So one Sinister, we only apply our Adrenaline Rush, we don't use our other cooldowns, and we use T immediately, and there you go, there's the expose, right? And that's in like 9 seconds of combat time. Okay? And now if we go over like, so this is his High Warlord here, at 18 seconds, High Warlord receives expose. And we go over, this is my High Warlord, at 11 seconds. This is 11 seconds with a parry, remember? So this is realistically is like 9 to 10 seconds, okay? Because I have an unlucky opener. If we go to Supremus, it's even more obvious, like 19 seconds on his Supremus, and on my Supremus skill, without a parry, it's 9 seconds, right? So that's 10 seconds different, okay? And this, the DPS loss for this is massive for the exposed armor alone, right? So DPS loss, if you're a rogue, like just your personal DPS loss is really high, right? If every second the expose isn't up, you know, over the 5 thunders, we're losing like 150 DPS. And for warriors, I've got the Grok Senpai sim open here. Like, so with exposed armor, you're getting, this is your DPS, 3,470 almost. Without exposed armor, your DPS is, I think it's about another 150. 3,200, yeah, 3,300, sorry. So yeah, about another 150. So 150 DPS per player, and this is assuming, right? This is the key thing. This is assuming you have 5 5 thunders up from the start, right? Which isn't the case in most guilds. Like even in this guy's run, in SNO's run, the boss has 1 thunder, right? 1 thunder, not 5, 1. So this is much more huge. This is like several hundred DPS per player for 10 seconds, right? So how many physically he has? He has like, as he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 physical DPS. These guys could potentially be using 300 to 500 DPS per player for 10 seconds, right? That's thousands of damage that's being lost for this opener, okay? And on top of that, you're burning your cooldowns into a target that's got massive armor for no reason, because like none of the kill speeds require you to use in the game at the moment. Require you to use your cooldowns that early to get a second use out of them. Nothing in Hijau requires that. And everything in BT is like relatively over 2 minutes or on like nothing's like 2 minutes and like 20 seconds, is it? Besides like is anything? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. This is the closest. Like on this, you can't use them right away. On this, you got time. Like none of his kill speeds require an opener like that. Which is like so. It's just I'll go over my opener a bit more clearly here, so you can just see it on the timeline what you should be doing. So here we go. So here is this, obviously remember this is a parry. So you get 1 slice, and immediately get T and Adrenaline Rush as soon as you get max value, apply Exposed Armor as soon as you can, and then apply your other cooldowns when the boss hasn't got Exposed Armor up, because your trinkets should be coming up right now, right? And that's how you're getting maximum raid damage. And you're missing thousands and thousands of DPS for doing the opener he's doing. Okay, if we go to the Supremus, for example, like, sorry, summary casts by me. So yeah, this is it more clearly because there's no parry. So yeah, we get our slices up is at 3 seconds, and you know our exposed is at just here 10, and then our cooldowns, right? And this is the best opener, right? And you can clearly see, like, he says like he don't care about his logs or whatever, but like there's like Rogue's the top tier damage, right? For single target now, with you're gonna like it just kind of speaks for itself, right? Like, like the kill speeds are the same for a lot of these bosses, right? If we just look at the kill speeds, right? So it's like 134, 138. You know, that one's very similar. 101, 101. We got 142, 158. Like, the kill speeds aren't massively different. Some of them obviously are, and then like all of Hajal is like almost the same except the last two, right? And like some of these bosses, like this is 143, and this is 134. I'm doing over 1,000 more DPS, and the raid is all doing more DPS. Like, he's missing loads of damage because he's not using his cooldowns correctly, and he's losing his raid several thousand DPS because, again, I'll show you, like, his comment about it is we're talking about one global, right? That's his comment about it that it boils down to, because he thinks that the only difference between a 2 Sinister and then popping all your cooldowns and mine is the one global, but it's not, it just isn't. Like, it's just fiction, and I don't know why he doesn't want to respond to it properly, but if we go, I'll show you his cast timeline. Right, so there we go. So one extra global here, one extra global here, right? So he's using 2 extra globals, and on top of that 2 extra globals, this is an extra energy expenditure, and this is an extra energy expenditure. So it's not just 2 globals that you're wasting, because you're wasting the energy used for these, and he isn't using T, so he isn't even getting this energy back, right? Like, the only good thing he does here is use his haste potion, and he still uses that wrong. Like, and it's not even timed with his blade flurry, it's not even macroed, like, I don't know. It's really poor play to open like this, and then to double down on saying this open is correct, when it clearly isn't.